So we're back in the ministry of silly walks, or perhaps not silly walks, but silly names. So we've got the iSCSI Initiator. To you and me, that's the client. So when we're dealing with iSCSI, just think of the iSCSI target as being the iSCSI server, and the iSCSI Initiator as being the client. Makes life so much more simple when we have simple server-client technology names. Here we're looking at making a discovery to try and find out what's out there. So we can run using sudo, or we can run the iSCSI ADM command directly as root. But you can see that we're looking for send targets, so we're looking for targets, and looking for targets on the portal 192.168.40.3. We're not specifying the port here, so it's going to default to our standard 3260. That will give us a list of targets. We can then choose which target we want to connect to. So you can see here that we've got then our target name that we want to connect to, and then we're using the -- login. So depending what access control lists we've put in, we might have to also supply credentials. Now when we're looking at the initiator or client, the main utility we use is the iSCSI ADM. The service itself is the iSCSI ID, which is one of those just-in-time services. So long as it's enabled, then it will be used as is required. And then the configuration that can be stored in the iSCSIID.conf, and that's also where we could configure then the IQN of our client. Let's take a look then at how we can use this shared out device from my iSCSI target. So back on our command line, we can run then our iSCSI ADM command, and -- mode equals discovery. -- type equals send targets. -- portal, so the address that we want to go to. And then the command we want, -- discover. So we can see then the configuration that we made. We can then go back into our iSCSI ADM, and this time -- mode is going to equal node. Our target name, and we can go through and just copy it across from here, the portal that we want to go to, and then the command -- login. So that's just wrapped around, but it's two minuses being a long format that we're using. So when we're ready, we can give that a go, and we can see then that we're getting the successful coming back. Now that we've done this, if I go through and run ls block, I haven't added any additional devices, but we can see that I've got SDD. So this is then the shared out SDB. Now, of course, it's ridiculous sharing out SDB and connecting to it on the same system, but we can see then that it's available to me. Remember, that's what the storage area network does, is shares out disks for you. We can also see the danger here of using device names instead of UUIDs when we're mounting, because I still of course have my USB connected, but if I disconnect the USB, then my SAN drive is going to be SDC. So you can see again highlighting the reason for using unique identifiers from the file system rather than using the device names. But hopefully this is giving you some of the basic ideas of how we can use our iSCSI targets and our iSCSI clients. Remember, the client name itself is the initiator. So hopefully this gives you a good idea anyway on how we can use the iSCSI target and the iSCSI initiator, or in simple terms, the iSCSI server and the iSCSI client. Let's take a look back now at the slides to tidy up some of this So let's move now back to the slides so we can tidy up this section and take a look at some terminology.